What is up, you guys? It's your boy, Ragosin, back again with a brand new video. So let's talk about Google Stadia. When Google Stadia was announced at some point, I think around June or July, I was actually pretty excited about this. The concept that you could play video games on whatever platform you want with great specs and shit like that, because, you know, for a lot of people, you know, playing games at 4K resolution and like 60 frames per second, it's kind of impossible because they don't have the funds to do something like that, right? But with Google Stadia, that kind of changes the whole idea of like you needing a super powerful PC, because you could literally play, you know, say, Star Wars Fallen Order, 60 frames per second, the highest specs around the world, you know, that kind of shit, on a fucking smartphone or your laptop and shit like that. You don't need the goddamn PC anymore, right? But, of course, there were some problems. I remember from seeing, I think the announcement. I'm not 100% sure either I didn't pay attention or they didn't even mention that you were going to require to purchase games on Google Stadia. Now, a lot of people were hoping that this would be kind of like a Netflix kind of deal, where you could purchase Google Stadia, right, for $9.99, and it'll give you a catalog of games and shit like that for free, basically, because it's, you know, it's a service like Netflix. But unfortunately, that is not the case, because you're going to have to purchase the games on your own, $60 plus $9.99 if you want the full premium package of the 4K and shit like that. And a lot of people were extremely disappointed with that, me including myself, and also a lot of people bring up good points as well, saying that what if Google Stadia disappears? They just straight up say, well, we don't want to do this anymore, this was a failure, goodbye. Your games, they're all gone because they're not on your computer. It's on Google, you know, it's in their system and shit like that. It's not a physical or a digital copy. You know, you don't have anything. All you have is the permission to play the game. And if they delete Google Stadia for any reason in the next year or so, if they barely even started as well, like it's not even out yet for the general public, only for like the people who purchased the Foundation bundle. But you know, if that shit's gone, you're screwed. All right, like say you spent I'm gonna be generous, $100 on like 2 games. Yeah, you're screwed. You lost $100 because they skedaddled. They fucking ended it. They pulled the plug. You're screwed, all right? But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Google Stadia kind of seems like it's gonna be a failure from the get-go, because The Verge has released a article showing us the problems and the things that they said they're not gonna be at launch. So let's go ahead and read that, all right? So I'm gonna first start off reading one of the points right here. You can look at all the points that they've listed in the down in the description in their own article. But right now I'm going to start with June 6th. Google opens pre-orders for the $130 Founders Edition, including a buddy pass that will let you bring a friend along for a ride. Now, the reason why I read that is because it's going to be important down the line, so please remember that. June 15th. Bungie reveals Destiny 2 on Stadia will be a closed ecosystem with no cross-platform multiplayer. Now, I'm not 100% sure if there really is cross-multiplayer in general in Destiny 2, but if that were a thing, can't really do it anymore. Not the biggest deal, but once we start reading down, you're gonna start seeing the real issues here. So July 18th, Stadia product director reveals the wireless controller won't support wireless headphones for TV play on day one. Kinda disappointing. October 16th, Google is caught adding a disclaimer that you initially have to plug a USB-C cable to a wireless controller and use it with PCs and phones, which is kind of weird because we're in a point of time where that was a thing back in like what, the 90s, back in the old 2000s, maybe not even the 2000s. I mean, at that point we had like wireless shit with the Xbox 360 and the Wii, you know, but having to plug a controller to a device, that seems a little weird. I don't understand why they can't just do it from the get-go. Shouldn't be that difficult, but apparently Google, being the giant monster that it is finding difficulties trying to, you know, figure out the wireless thing. But you gotta ask yourselves again, like, why Google? Like, they probably figured out how to, like, monitor everything in your house at this point, because you allowed them with like Google Home and shit like that. But apparently they can figure out how to ruin your life in 2 seconds, but they can't figure out wireless controls, so that's pretty nice. But let's continue on with the other points. So you got October 22nd. It turns out that your Stadia pre-order won't necessarily arrive on launch day because Google isn't shipping them all at once. So if you bought the pre-order, you might not even get it on that day. You might get it like next year. Whoa, that's kind of disappointing. And then October 24th, Google Studio lead Jade Raymond admits it may be several years before a big game takes full advantage of the cloud. So, I mean, this is new, right? This is new. This is a new concept in the water for cloud gaming. So, is this really surprising? Not exactly, but it still is disappointing. November 11th, Google reveals that only 12 games will be available at launch. So that's kind of disappointing. That's kind of really disappointing. And also, you gotta take in the fact that, what are the 12 games? I'm not 100% sure if they've been announced yet, but you know, if they're kind of shitty games, you might as well be playing only 2. You know, there's might as well only 2 games available, playable games available on launch. So that's kind of just really, you know, disappointing. And then I think this one here, the last point here is going to be the big one right here. That's going to be a very difficult thing to swallow. So on November 13th, in a Reddit Ask Me Anything, Google says that at launch, Stadia won't give you the buddy pass for a friend for the first couple of weeks, won't offer Google Assist features except asking Google to launch a game, won't stream 4K or HDR to Chrome PCs, won't offer any games with Keystream Connect, State Share, or Crowd Play, multiplayer, and YouTube features, won't work on Chromecast Ultras that weren't purchased as part of the Founders Edition package until they get a firmware update, and many more issues. So not only is Google kind of, you know, fucking themselves over with this idea of cloud gaming, I mean, it's inevitable, obviously, but the business model of this situation is not the best. You shouldn't require people to purchase games when they really don't own them. You know, don't make them pay full price. Just make it into a subscription. Please make it into a subscription where you can literally play any game you want, whatever the fuck you want to, wherever you want to. It's as simple as that. Why can't you do that? I don't understand, Google. You know, out of all the people to exist on planet Earth, you would think that Google might as well, you know, get this shit right, but apparently not. And also they're not launching it correctly. So when this releases, or maybe it already is released, I think it is today, it's already a failure. It's already a flop. And when it is released to the general public, will it be better? Maybe not. Maybe it will still be shit. Maybe people will see this and say, cloud gaming, not the best idea. We probably don't want to deal with this shit. So for those of you who have participated in the Founders Edition, it might be intelligent of you to not purchase any games, because quite frankly, maybe in 2 years, maybe 3 years, I'll be generous and say 4 years, Google's going to look at themselves and say, yeah, Google Stadia, not the best idea, let's go ahead and pull the plug. So, again, if they blew the plug, you are fucked. You have lost all the money, all those games that you've purchased, gone. So you might as well not risk that opportunity. Just don't buy any games. Just might as well keep it as a little trophy, as a little memento that you fucked yourself. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, Google Stadia, probably gonna be the worst idea ever. You know, first steps to cloud streaming, first step was a failure, so who's gonna do it better? Who fucking knows? But right now, Google is shitting themselves right now. Very, very unfortunate. But yeah, that's all I have for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you really did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification to be notified of my next upload, because quite frankly, YouTube ain't doing so good right now, so might as well do that favor for me. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.